Who?
They all wanna know how I live my life, how I spend my money, how I treat my wife. But I hope that he don't show them what I'm truly like. Cause if he does, then my two big bills won't get paid on time. Cause I can't afford to lose another pay pick. June's gonna make everybody think I'm crazy. Show the world how I made a stationary statement. Slave trade joke, but I swear I'm not a racist. I said I loved you, but I didn't mean it. All I'm feels a nagger, eat it. Skin complexion like a white cheddar cheese it. And I'm getting that feeling, it time June. Please don't ask my viewers why they could. Yeah, he gon' show my lousy interview. You can eat it with a spoon. Cause in time, yeah, in time June. Gambling, addiction, alcohol abuse. Cash advantage for money matches I lose. You can eat it with a spoon. Cause in time, yeah, in time June. I got a feeling June gon' call me out. But doing dashing everything, even though I have gout. Shrimp balls and barbecue, I'm in the mood to chow. Gonna order a lot of food, some gabagool, and I want it right now. He's gonna expose me and I ain't ready for it. 672 and Derek, I hope he ignores him. I'm just a little streamer and I can't really afford it. I swear to God, if he slanders me, I'll get a lawyer. I don't know what to do, so I'll act nice. Try to beg less, yeah, right. Stop talking about steak, this is my night. Dog's coming out, so I guess I better act right. Please don't ask my viewers why they could. Yeah, he gon' show my lousy interview. You can eat it with a spoon. Cause in time, yeah, in time June. Gambling, addiction, alcohol abuse. Cash advantage for money matches I lose. You can eat it with a spoon. Cause in time, yeah, in time June. Cause in time, yeah, in time June.
What's up, everybody?
Cause in time, yeah, in time June.
Can everybody hear me all right? What's going on, everybody? That is a banger track. Meerkat and Dark Side Drill right there. That is It Time June. It's their new release. This shit's hot. Snortwave is my shit. I'm telling you, I drive, like in the morning when I go to the gym or when I'm doing errands, all the time with Snortwave. And now it's getting even worse because I'm starting to get the obscure vinyl in there. Like Pimpzilla, when I played last night. The one I played last night. That shit was hot. Oi, Vitor, good from Brazil. Hello. We're international. How is everybody tonight? It was a long, kind of painful stream yesterday. I'm hoping to keep it a little bit lighter this stream around. You know, I wanted to talk about a few things. I heard that, and I saw that Anus called me a liar or said that I was lying. So I figured, you know, I don't really give a fuck about her. So I just go ahead and show exactly what she talked to me about the entire time that I knew her, you know, which was basically like right around January-ish, February-ish, up until when I stopped talking to her, I think in March. It really wasn't that long because she was so annoying. And I seriously thought at the time that she was Gundam's girl because he kept saying treat her, treat with kid gloves. She's real. Uh, she will fly off the handle real quick. All these kind of like weird simp things that I really didn't expect him to say. But yeah, the let's see here, Junior Klua. It's a two-way street. I doubt the blame lies squarely with Gundam, but I'm not sure at this point. So far, Pesk showed receipts. And another thing I wanted to say, because I saw someone write this in chat earlier. I don't want anyone to unsub from Gundam. I don't want people to hate him or I'm not asking to berate against him. Him and I have this issue. He fucked me over, but he fucked me over. He didn't fuck over everyone else. Now, you could kind of say that the people that supported the show, he left them in a lurch because, he didn't tell them that the show was doing anything. Like, he didn't even mention anything about it except for yesterday during my stream. I showed, which one is this? 13. I knew this would happen as soon as I pulled all this up. Anyways, he put up a post yesterday about he's sorry to me, kind of sorry to here it is. I'm sorry. Sorry, chat. This was the post that he put up yesterday saying, there was no live show yesterday or for a little while. He was sorry to me. He put up my link there, one of the first times that he'd ever done something like that. He says he's stepping away from stream for a minute. He's forcing himself to do so because he's getting real hammered, and I'll attest to that. There's there's been a handful of streams where, I had to close it out because either he had passed out or he wasn't, coherent enough to kind of close it out. I'm sure y'all remember them. They were a few weeks back, and him and I had talked about that, and I thought it was taken care of because I knew he likes to, have a drink. I like to, smoke a little bit before I get on, kind of get loose. One of the things that when I first started this, it was a challenge for me is to get on the mic because I hate the sound of my own voice. Like, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but to listen to my voice in recording software, listen to it back, it's it's so annoying. But anyways, that's my issue. But I got over that, and I was really starting to get the swing of it, but it seems that Gundam no longer endorses that sentiment because he took it down not long, I think a few hours after my stream. So maybe he did catch a little bit of it. And like I said, I'm not going to show any of his DMs. I'm definitely going to do it to Anus because fuck her. Whatever. But I really don't care that much about it. I just don't like being called a liar. But this was, this is his current community tab, and it's not there anymore. It's gone. It gone. Bye-bye. So I guess even that little consolation prize, I don't even get to hold on to that. But yeah, it's gone. That's gone. Remove that back up here. Yes. So and I really appreciate everyone that's sent DMs to me, saying that they like the show, saying they like the work that I did on the show, and I appreciate that. I really do, because I didn't think anyone would really care about the producer side of it or care about me as a person on the stream. I tried to stay out of Gundam's way as much as possible because that was one of the issues that he had was, and we'll talk about this in a little bit about the F&T stuff, but his mindset was that a producer is like, and I don't mean disrespect to this woman because I don't know her, X-Ray Girl, where she sits in there, no talking except for doing the super chats, and then like there's no interaction with the guest. Like I shouldn't ask questions or interview the guest because I'm just the lonely executive producer that developed, that came up with this entire idea. And most of the time, book the guest, except for like a few guests, Drinker, y'all know, like the guys that he knows. But people like Kyle and even Kirsha from the first, you know, I saw her on side scrollers a couple times. Said she'd be great on the show. Kyle, I saw him on Twitter. Decoy, I watch anyway, so that wasn't a hard one. But these eclectic content creators coming on the show to talk about their content or just interact with Gundam, I thought was amazing content. But uh, Gundam saw it kind of like as too serious. If you asked, like, I'll show the clip in a little bit because I had to go pick it out. It was like when we did the Drinker interview, and I asked about some of the production of the film that he's doing. He's doing his first film. It's pretty big. They raised a lot of money for it. I did some background research on it, and I had presented it to Gundam, and they were like a bunch of conversation starters. They weren't direct questions. Be like, how did you make this movie? They were just stuff like, what how'd you come up with this character? What's your favorite book out of all your books? Which was your favorite ones? Just a couple of stuff to kind of break the ice to get it talking in that direction. But he didn't want it to be too serious. I guess he just wanted to goof around and stuff, which is fine. That's something to do. Yeah, the Kirsha collab was amazing. The first one was pure gold. That was like lightning in a bottle. And I saw as soon as they were interacting, I was like, it's like watching Opie and Anthony meet for the first time. Or who's a good duo? Chat, who's a good duo? If they just like walked into the door and met for the first time and they instantly had chemistry. I don't know. We could go on and on about good duos, but yeah, the those interviews were great. Like the interactions, they were great, and since he fucked me over, that's what he said that he wanted to do. In the middle of fucking me over, he gave me the business plan, which is amazing. But it was him and Kirsha plus guest producers such as Cecil and the girl that we're about to talk about, Anus. And she's the one that I told y'all about that had a really big problem with me being the producer and coming to the show and developing the show and and everything. Because even before I developed the show for a few years, I helped Gundam. Said this last night, but I helped him with the financial stuff. Before I really started talking with him and kind of, I would say mentoring, but it's not like it wasn't like officially mentoring someone. I was just helping out a friend that was not a friend. I was helping someone out that I enjoyed their content with something that I could do because he was having problems with money or something along those lines. And he didn't even have a bank account. And so built up his business, got all that straightened out, all the little quirky things you got to do for New York. He went through that, put a lot of time and effort into it. He puts a lot of work into these things. It's just that, it's, I can knock out 2 or 3 hours a week if someone's going to pay me, couple of thousands of dollars to just go hang out and have fun and like have the structure of a show. Because we had talked, and this is what was weird, like in the beginning when him and I were talking about the show and we were discussing how we wanted it, a lot of it has to go back to F&T, which I'll talk about in a minute. But it was always, we wanted to differentiate ourselves and we wanted to be quick. We wanted not to have a lot of downtime. So that's why I was kind of confused whenever he would get mad that I would talk in some situations because I was just trying to fill the dead air. Or, maybe he's smoking or something, or drinking, or just not even talking. There were some points where he would just like stop talking. But let me go ahead and start with the anus person, which is like also 10 out of 10 for username. That's just so marketable. But anyways, the it's anus girl. She is the one that is actually in Gundam's Twitter bio, and which is weird because I've never if you're on someone's show, I see putting that up there. But if like he just puts like my artist, this is my artist in the bio, and she has drawn some of the pictures, but she didn't do the VTuber rig, which was weird. But you know, to each his own. She has he's always said that, you know, she does all his art, and this is my speculation, but I think that she holds the art over him. I don't know if he totally owns it or what. I don't know why you would allow someone to like hold art over you for some reason, because I'm about to show you exactly what she did to me when I was doing the pitch deck, and then I'll show you all the pitch deck at the end, and y'all can make fun of it. But let me just show this real quick, just so y'all know I'm not. Oh yeah, and Gundam unfollowed me today, by the way. So awesome. I didn't think he was gonna stay followed to me anyway, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, look, the designer. She's just a designer. You know, the editor's not up in there. You know, Ludwig should be up there. If anyone would be up there now, the person that's making the most money. If we did by the person that was making the most money or like producing the most content, I would go with Ludwig, especially behind, like if I'm not up there and it doesn't include what we were doing, it's like definitely would be Ludwig. And again, that's, you know, he views people, everyone else but her, as the help. So let's get into the drama. Do I still have the? Please tell me that I still got it. No, I had the Keemstar. Let's get right into the news soundbite. It was perfect right then. But let's get right into the bullshit. Okay, so this is going to be the first time that I met her. Yeah, this is her right after I, you know, Gundam kind of introduced me, and I said, hello, how you doing, kind of stuff, and she replies, you too, I've been trying to convince Gundo to stream more and just do chatting and subject style streams rather than gaming with Zill, who isn't reliable. It's nice you could give him some stability. They've been good so far, and this is January the 24th, so it's probably like 2 or 3 in at this point. So, you know, we haven't done that many, but we're still getting like close to 3,000 at this point, and she's still being kind of nice to me and stuff. But then you know, it progresses like that, and you can actually see this in the messages. It's so weird. Okay. Whoops, sorry I missed these. I must have like sent her a message. I'm not on payroll, so I'm just a free spirit living my life. It's good, it's working out. I'm trying to get him to do this, but he just never seemed into it. I guess he needed a man to take his hand. And that's what she's talking about, the streaming part. You know, I've never been able to get him into it, but he just needed a man to take his hand. It doesn't seem like he doesn't seem to get it when he has super fans either. Like, he gets these people who love him, massive dweeb energy. I don't know how to put it. This is good for him to finally connect to his audience. And I agreed, because he, you know, he didn't do much outside stuff besides the videos. You know, he wouldn't do a lot of interacting, which is fine. You know, no one has to be interacting. But I found that odd. So here we're at February the 8th right now. So it's like I've only known this person for a week and some change, you know, definitely not enough time for me to explain like an evil plan or something like that, like a maniacal type of evil plan. But let's go to the next one. This is when we start to turn, because this is when we're starting to get into March. And the context of this one is what I was saying yesterday about her Trump bot that would talk the screen, the super chats out. And I made the joke saying this must be the first time that a human has taken a job away from a robot. And she almost starts crying. That's what happens before this. So then she says, I'm saying like, oh, I didn't know that was a problem. I'm sorry for my joke. She says, which is why I have no issue with you. It's Gundam who is clueless. I told Gundam always I couldn't take money from him unless it was ethical due to his housing situation. I grew up raised by my dad picking up scrap, so I know how hard it is to struggle and not get what you want, versus I have a husband and a house right now. So I said I could wait until the right time to accept money from him. I was working to help him with his stream so I could, like you, me, take a percent. Uh, but I was waiting for him to realize he could stream without Zill because for months he was stuck on he couldn't stream because Zill was out of the country or whatever. And I know you never meant to hurt my feelings. I'm just not the type of person to hide how I feel. I definitely think it's healthy. Well, it's definitely telling. Um, so this was one of the things. Same when I had talked to Gundam about streaming, it wasn't in the context of me saying, "Let me produce a stream and do it for you." Back then, like these, she's talking like in the middle of 2022, 2023. And he didn't want to jump into the pool without Zill because he's comfortable with Ziltex. He's, that's who he streamed with before. So that's fine. I never had a problem with that. It wasn't until later on when, this idea had been brought up many times by a lot of different people. The next one I'm going to show is my side of the conversation after that, and it's going to tell you exactly how I got into this whole is this the right one? This whole rigmarole with with Gundam, because normally I wouldn't have done something like this. So this is my side of the conversation, and it says, "Sorry, y'all. Let me just size this up." It says, "Trust me, I had no idea," and I was talking about the joke about the robot, because she is like crazy sensitive when it comes to these jokes for some reason. "Trust me, I had no idea, but we're preaching the same thing. I kept telling them he would kill streaming on his big channel without Zill, but he wasn't interested. I think he thought he would get in trouble by saying something wrong, but I've seen people do worse shit and still remain in the partner program," and that's true. So last summer of 23, I was like, "I tell you what, I'll produce the show and try to build it out," because I was kind of retired from YouTube during the pandemic. And this would be my first project in 3 years. And it took months, and we made a hard date for January 2024. And then we didn't even announce it. We didn't even put a video out. He didn't do anything. So far, I think the show has worked out. And we're about 3 months in, so it's doing pretty good. And and I also say, since I've worked in content creation before, I've always tell creatives to get paid for their work, but also make an agreement with a person in the beginning. I can see why you're upset, and if there's anything I can do, let me know how I can help. Well, that's kind of ironic with me now, but like I said yesterday, the reason why I didn't have a written contract with Gundam is because you kind of had to treat him like a child. You couldn't put a lot of legal jargon or a lot of things on top of him, or he would just space. But this is me telling her that if she wanted to be paid by Gundam, then she probably should have started that in the beginning, saying my art is such and such for sale, because it just sets the wrong kind of tone when you're doing stuff for free and then you start charging out of the blue, or doing it for a while and then, saying, "I've got to get money from this. I've been around for long enough. Why am I not getting any money?" I told him that he could stream. Why am I not getting that money? So that was my side. And I think this is the last good message from her. Let me get rid of that. How everybody still following along? Everybody still following along? I know it's a complicated kind of weird drama, but it's we're getting there. So anyways, I think this is one of the last times that she talked civil to me. Is this the one? Yeah. Here we go. "Well, I wish Gundam would have told me this was in the works for months. I have worked on actual productions as well. I was an animation director before I was out of a job due to moving to the US legally and getting forced to wait months for work permit. It cleared last November, right as my industry took a nosedive and the writer's strike trickling down to my industry plus AI. I've been jobless. My dad is going blind in Canada, and I told Gundam all about this. I'll be doing his merch and taking a percent, but I told him it hurt me to see how little he considered me. I kinda was helping keep the momentum going with just free art and shit on his channel, so I just assumed the same courtesy out of him, that he would consider me. But I forgot that he was a man, and men suck at reading between the lines. Crying emoji. Just because I didn't outright offer, I thought my intentions were pretty clear. But then again, I'm not trying to out you. I don't care. I'm used to being fucked over in life, probably more so than Gundam himself. I'll just take this energy and put it elsewhere. So, she's just a starving artist, out here trying to make a buck, trying to make a living, do what she loves. I respect that. Do you, girl? That's a girl boss right there. That is a goddamn girl boss. I would say it's a little weird, saying that you would assume the same courtesy out of him. I don't really get that. How little he considered me does that mean money? I've always thought about this because, like I told y'all yesterday, after we were doing it for a few months, and I'm about to show you the turn, she was bitching about the store or her not making enough money at the store. Now you got to understand, this is Gundam telling me this stuff at this point, but he didn't want to hear her anymore, so he just said, "Look, just take all the money." I don't know if that meant take 100% of the store in perpetuity or just right now or whatever. And I also wanted to make clear that anything that I might say about her, saying like she has a wealthy husband or they might have like a wealthy family, that's Gundam saying it to me. So I don't know this for a fact. She might not be telling the truth on anything. It's hard to tell, especially when we're coming up to this next section. But that's that's what she's been saying. So let's take a look at the chat. Everybody going all good? Is this simping ain't easy? Look at that Boba the Fat. Simping ain't easy. And it's definitely expensive as well. I wouldn't know though. Just an issue with not being direct. Now, see, that was what I was talking about in the message before. I was like, if you're going to deal in this industry, and I've been working in the YouTube sphere, I guess, for the better part since 2016, and there's been stumbles, and I've learned from my mistakes. And if you don't make your intention, this has nothing to do with contracts, but it has to do with intention. If you go in with a project with someone, or if y'all are going to make a video, you need to make sure that y'all set before the video, before the actual thing, who gets what percentages or what, because we're talking about money. And when we're talking about money here, people always go nuts. Look at me. This whole situation, I never would have thought Gundam would have fucked me out over we're talking like $700 a month. That's how much that, he needed to get because he said he couldn't afford me. And I never would have thought something like that. Whatever. I don't have memberships yet because I'm not monetized yet, Rybread. But help me out. Hit the like button. Let's get some monetization on this channel so at least I can have a little fun. But until then, fuck the algorithm. I can say whatever the fuck I want. Eat these nuts. Okay. So let's take that off right there. But yeah, this was the last time that that she talked civilly to me. So let's pick up the next part. I'm making a pitch deck for Meta PCs, for Gundam, for Meta PCs. We've already had a meeting. We sat down. The meeting was great. Shout out to the guy that was in that meeting. Not going to name him, but, great business. Probably ordering a PC there. Not sponsored, but get your Meta PCs today. And the pitch deck, I wanted it to have some of her art, or the art in general. I don't mean her art. It's like I was working for DB Productions. Now, I'm still employed with them. I haven't gotten a release yet, but um, in DB Productions, they have me, the producer, executive producer of the quality content show, and then there's uh, Anus, who is lead designer and artist and head of the merch store. And then you also had Ludwig, editor, Nikita, editor. And Nikita actually found us through the show, and great guy. Sorry I won't get to work with him anymore. Does wonderful edits. Um, so you can't subscribe to him because he didn't really have a channel, but it's a great guy, does great work, da da da. And that's who makes up the company most of, and then Gundam is the CEO. So everyone should be working together. Like, she makes art that goes into a drive that people can use, either the editors, or if I'm making something, we can pick and do all this. It's a real easy system, and uh, that's where we're at this point. I'm starting to make the pitch deck, and I've sent it. I'm not involving her. I want you all to understand is that I didn't involve Anus. It was mentioned that I was doing it, and she kind of like said, "Oh, I'll take a look at it." And when I sent it to her, this is exactly how it started. Her whole diatribe, and eventually her her just going off like a fucking evil supervillain or something. So here's the first one. And this is on March the 26th. Anus, I've made millions in pitches. You have merely worked for Drama Alert. Trust me. You as the contact info on the last page says that without saying it. You can also write contact info like my name, producer, your email. You don't need to write anything about Drama Alert either, because that's unnecessary, and it's not the best to brag about anyways. This is a pitch deck solely about quality content and competition on Wednesday. And I actually kind of agree with that in the end. But she always had this weird thing about trying to put down Drama Alert, which is always weird when people do that. It's like, I don't own Drama Alert. I just work there. It's like saying, I don't approve of Inside Edition or hard copy or fucking tabloid journalism. It's like, you just work there. Then I say, can I send the dude your revisions, because I'm sending it to Fiverr. I got someone on Fiverr because the in-house artist was too temperamental to deal with this work. Without the notes, I'm headed home, dropping off Lucy, that's my puppy, to the groomers, and was going to do show stuff. I'm also going to be doing a store segment tomorrow during the announcement portion. Do you have any special instructions are going on? I know some of the people asked about 3XL and the main shirts too. So I was helping her on her show as well. I'm trying to make sure that she's making money. Gundam's making, everyone's making money. I'm not trying to be the dude that's controlling everything. I'm making sure that the resources are spread. I've always been kind of the manager whenever I'm working inside a project, whether it was high school, college, work life, online work life. I've always kind of tried to hold a management position, because I'll readily admit I'm not the best editor, definitely not the best graphic artist. I'm good at tech, and I'm the best at probably writing and research. So those were my strengths, and if everyone plays their strengths, especially in like a tight knit kind of production engine, then everyone can get paid. That was kind of how it was at Drama Alert too. It was like Keem didn't mind sharing in the wealth whenever we were making 15, 20 million, 30 million views on a month, 60 million. It was getting like thousands and thousands of dollars. It was crazy. But let's go on the next one. She's going to start criticizing the pitch deck. And mind you, she wasn't involved in making this. She was just asked to look at the revision. So let me pull this up real quick. So here we go. This is her talking about the pitch deck. The whole graphic needs help. No black boxes would help. This is all just so messy. Pitch deck should be clean and easy to read, not a hunt for data. The titles are off to the side, so just stay off the line. Honestly, my art is carrying the whole thing. which is a cunty thing to say, but the rest is kind of garbage. Like these titles are crap. Now, this is the part where she turns, okay? I want you to notice March the 29th, 2024 at pretty much 8 p.m. Central Time. And in the matter of an hour and 15 minutes, she says, if you need my art in these slides, I'll need compensation. Also $100, since it's carrying as much of the work as this piss poor designer. Sorry, I didn't realize you were a piece of shit. Ripping on people with downs is fucking gross. And this is when I was talking about the joke under Chrissy Mayer's post when they had those intellectually, I'll just say intellectually challenged people dressed as trans. You know, some people might like it, some people don't. But this is a comedy thing. You know, I didn't think that she would be that that offended. But she's trying to extort me at this point. She wants me to pay her and not just $100. It's like she wants compensation and $100. So she wants maybe, you know, a couple of $100 to use her art in Gundam's promotional equipment, promotional material, who she's employed by. Okay. So she's trying to extort me right here. And when I read this, I was like, I had to read it a few times because, and I want to say this too, I had to read it a few times because it just made me like, huh? Like I had that face of that dude with a question mark. Like, what? You know, that's also the same face I had when I got the message from Gundam talking about fucking me over. I had to read it twice. I even had to make another text that said, like, am I reading this right? And I had to ask it twice. I'm like, is this what this means? And when he was like, you know, I knew you would be mad. I was like, well, I'm this is fucked. But yeah, this is when she is extorting me for some money because, you know, I don't know. When Gundam says that she comes from a family that has money, I think it's probably like the husband's side, or maybe the husband in general, or his family, or something like that. I don't like talking about people's families, but it's just really weird and petty behavior to be worried about such low amounts of money. I mean, we're talking about a couple of $100. You know, I'm paying at this point. I'm paying the Fiverr artist almost $200 to do this work when I have an in-house artist that I can't use because she's so temperamental and spotty and flaky that I can't trust her with anything. And this is before she tried to extort me. So, yeah, extortion. She tried out that little extortion bit. And spoiler alert, it didn't fucking work. Here we go. And I say, I really don't get this turn. I didn't make fun of the Downs people. I just said a star is born because she had camera presence. And that was my tweet underneath there. It literally just said a star is born because it was framed nice. It was just like a cute little joke. So then she realizes that she fucked up and she's like, yeah, well, you could pull the art out. And then I say, second, if you want me to pay you for art that you gave me access to make promotional materials for a dick bag, I'm paying out of pocket for that. And now you want money? Why didn't you say this a week ago when we were, because again, she had done this. She had seen it for like a week. So she says, you're not a very good person. I help Gundo because he's a good person. But if you can't see what's wrong with what you posted, you're kind of retarded yourself because you didn't make it clear that you were a piece of shit. Okay? Girl boss. Get it, girl. I said, lol, this is business. I thought you did entertainment business at some level. I don't let my personal feelings interfere with business or the entertainment. So you want me to pay you because you don't like me? Do I have that right? And I would, you know, at this point, I don't know how everyone else in the chat feels, but I was like, this is kind of this is kind of spun out. Like this chick is really trying to get money from me, a couple of $100 from me, because she didn't like a joke that I. It wasn't even a joke. It was just like a tweet. So she didn't like a joke, and I didn't ever understand. She didn't like a joke about Downs people, but she calls me retarded, like in the same text blurb. So I was like, I mean, that doesn't offend me. I'm not offended. This is a comedy outfit. I thought we were having fun and like making jokes and stuff. Gundam's known for, edgy entertainment, talking about the trans, talking about, Dylan Mulvaney and the CEO that's not been a CEO for 2 years that he still uses his background. What's her name? Susan Wojcicki. This is supposed to be funny, supposed to be some sort of, I thought when I came into this, I thought it was some sort of comedy troupe, something like that. But she really just kind of flipped at this point. And I think I'm coming up to the last one. Yeah, I'm coming up to the final two. And this is going to tie into the producer part because at this point, she's real pissed off. And she is drunk with girl boss power. And she needs to let me know who fucking carries the baldo in this conversation. So here we go. It's not so easy being a producer when all the free work is taken away, I understand. All that art took hours, and it was produced for Gundo, not you. And I say, this is his promotional material made for Meta PCs after we had a meeting, and I said I would get it done. I was the point person on it. And that's what I said in the meeting. She goes, have fun getting it done without my art then. And then I pulled the Uno reverse and was like, well, I mean, I could take the pictures out. I really just needed the info, which was true. Like I could have taken most of them out, except for maybe the one on the cover. That was the only one I really needed. So at the very bottom, I'm tired of you pretending you're a producer. You have no good input on this pitch deck. Other than being a gopher, your writing is horrendous. Now, mind you, this is my pitch deck that I paid for, that I wrote. I sent to her for a proofread. She sent it back, looked like a normal proofread. And in the span of an hour, now she's fucking Dr. Evil. Trying to fucking shake me down like this is The Sopranos. So I was like, at this point, I'm just kind of flabbergasted. She's just like, your writing is horrendous. I'm a gopher. I have no good input on the pitch deck that I paid for and thought of and actually was the one that mentioned. Yeah, right here. This is just about her input besides criticize. That was it. This is pretty much it. This was just criticizing. Because that's what she wanted to do. Like she's been pissed off that that I offered to produce a show for Gundam, irrespective of whatever she was doing. I had no idea what the hell she was doing. All I know is that when Gundam couldn't, he said, I want to do it, but I don't have anyone to help me do it. And I was like, I could do it. I took months. I looked at what day would be the best, what time would be the best, where everyone would be during that particular time. And I wanted it to be like right around people getting off of work or right around dinner time so they could listen to a longer form podcast if they're stuck in traffic or, they're just getting off work or they're just starting like on third shift and want to listen to something long and we can have a funny discussion because I always thought when we had a lot of funny people together, funny things can come out of that. It doesn't have to be structured, but we still have to be on time. We still have to promote. We're in the entertainment business. People don't know that we're having these streams. Gundam has never advertised them on any of his regular videos that get hundreds of thousands of views. You know, if he wanted to try to get those kind of FNT numbers, he could surely like put more. I told him what the best thing to do would be to film an ad that he could just pop at the back of every video. He don't have to edit it in or anything. He makes it one time, pops it at the end. It's like a 10-second, 15-second hit. You know, check out quality content on Wednesdays live at 5. Be there or be fucked. You know, some stupid shit. You know, yeah. Oh yeah. Space Ghost was one of the primary inspirations. Space. I have a lot of ideas for the Space Ghost and Mystery Science Theater 3000. I had another idea to do, and you see this kind of in one of Ludwig's edits, to do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 version of quality content or an overlay like that. So when I play the cringy ass videos, it would look like them in front of the screen, like the old show. And I was also I was a month into development on Gundo TV. It was going to be a 24-hour, 7-day a week stream of Gundam content that he's made, because he's made like 1,900 videos at this point. And 24 hours a day, I'd be able to pop in bumpers like Adult Swim, pop in music. I could do like how WPIG does. You know, we could go in for live sessions at certain times. All of that was going to be something that I was going to involve y'all with in the after shows, because the stuff that I couldn't get to during the show, I would do after the show. And once we were done with that, I would start to, you know, do what I consider the crowd work, or doing polling, not really polling, but just like research into what the audience thinks. I read every comment. I read every DM that people send me. I might not reply to every one of them, but I do read it. And I've gotten great ideas. In fact, the Kirsha, no, it wasn't Kirsha. It was it Kirsha? I think it was Kirsha. When I first saw her name, it was in the chat. And this is before she even went on stream. And I also, Mari was the other one that I wanted to have on here. That would have been a great show to have Gundam and Mari on there. And Kirsha, if you had like that set up, great show. But let's go ahead and finish off this stuff with Anus. I think this is the end of it. I'll just show because I wasn't able to fit in my the last thing that I said to her, just so she can't say like, oh, you didn't say the end of it. I just told her, I said, you have a lot of anger. And I said, I'll take the art out. Like I said, I just needed the info. I hope you handle your anger. You do good art, but your people skills are lacking. And that was the last time that I ever talked to her. And then after that, Gundam comes to me and he's like, she's going crazy. What'd you say? What'd you do? And I was like, I didn't do anything. She was trying to extort me for money for using her art for your stuff. And he said, I'll talk to her, you know. And I think that's around the part where he gave her 100%. Yeah, that lines up. The dates line up. End of March, beginning of April. That's around the time that she was so mad that he just gave her everything she asked for, because it was just easier than listening to her bitch. Joseph Stalin. It's really sad. Quality content was such a young show with so much potential. Like, how long did it take for Drama Alert to pop off? How long did it take for Timcast to become? I mean, that's so true. Drama Alert was on its 4th channel before it actually stuck. And I think Keem told me he started in like 2012, and it wasn't until 2014 where one of them stuck. Took many, many evolutions of the Drama Alert show to get to where it finally ended up. So you watch like some of the early stuff, Keem is so reserved. He's like, let's get right into the news. You know, no bombastic, not the bombastic Keemstar you know today. He was just like, and the content was shit too. Someone filed a copyright claim on This is gay gaming. Let's see what it's on. Yeah, and he would agree. That was straight ass. We were running hot. If y'all want to know a little bit about how hot we were running, we were top 5% on Wednesday for live streams. Like our live streams consistently got into the top 10 and playboard for super chats, for amount of messages per stream. Like the amount of paid messages I would have to read or have to review every stream was hundreds. That's why it started being a problem after a while, because when you have 300 super chats and member shout outs, that takes time. Like I, I could do one in 15 seconds. It still take like 30 minutes. It's a long time, and to fit that in and not have everyone leave because they're so fucking bored, and still show respect to the people that paid, because I'm a big thing about that, about the super chats. One of my biggest things, and I told Keemstar this when they were doing Locale Live, and it was pissing me off. They would have $50 super chats come up there, and no one would say a fucking word. No one would say a word. And I was like, for real? So that was that's just fucked up. But yeah, that was that's make of that as you will. That is Anus. That was my interactions with Anus. She went from being nice to being resentful and bitter and angry, and she was mad that I got the job, or got, it wasn't really a job because I had ownership in it. It was just a deal. I wasn't working for anyone. We were working for ourselves. Yeah, Kirsha reads all her super chats. She's great. She's a wonderful streamer. Top notch. Top notch. That's my biggest thing. When people are not reading super chats. Now, you got to understand something. If I have 300 super chats, okay, and in a $2 super chat, someone gets pissed off that I didn't read that, it's like I'm trying, bro. It's like you're the last one on the rung, because a lot of times when I'm reading the super chats, I'll start at the top and I'll work my way down. So if you do 100, you're automatically pretty much going to get on screen right there, because that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money to send for a message. $50, that is a lot of money. $20, a lot of money. $10, a lot of money. $2, it's a tip. Everyone does tips. So I appreciate it. I really, 100%. I don't know if Gundam ever did, but I'll hopefully I'll read it if I have time. But you got to understand, if I'm reading 150 messages and each one takes me about 30 seconds, then you can already see, 150, half of that, 75 minutes. It's an hour and 15 minutes to do what we did on average. Camelot reads all his messages and super chats. He does. But it's a question of quantity. I think he has really big super chats, a lot of the hundreds that go on for his car. So he might not have as many numbered as we have, because we had, fuck, man, we were always top of the list when it came to oh, fuck this, I'll show the playboard right now anyway. Fuck the noise. Yeah, let's show. 3,351 chats in total. That's $11 chat on average. This was the last show that we did with Kirsha, $3,300, and we did that in about 3.5 hours. The rest of it, we did like another extra hour of super chat reading. Like these totals right here. This was the stream that he did with Zill, and it was all messed up. The one without me, because after this one, this is when he started to like lose interest in the show that I could see. After this one, and I think this was the drinker one, I had to talk to him on the phone because I could readily see that this was becoming an issue, and he was pissed off at me for asking Drinker a question about his the production on his movie that day. And I had to go back and think about it, because he had mentioned it after the show, and I I thought we were playing around. I thought it's a bit because I told him before. I said I'm not a fucking China doll. You know, I'm not gonna cry over anything, which is really why I don't want everyone to think I got sour grapes or anything because of this. I'm not crying. I'm just trying to explain what happened because there's a vacuum of information since he's not saying anything. You know, he deleted his post. He hasn't mentioned the show. He hadn't made a tweet since I made my stream yesterday, or actually the day before. He hasn't put a video out. The last video I was working on was the NY student, the Gatlin School. That was what he was working on. So if he puts that out, that'll be the last piece of content that I made at DB Productions. So I'd be nice to see that one come out because it was a good video. But that was born out of the show as well. I mean, these things get born out of the show. They're not everything that I bring for videos is a winner, but I know the internet well enough and the current state of YouTube or like where the drama is going on to have interesting stories to back up. So there's a smorgasbord of things to choose from. And if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You can't really have 1,000% batting average in comedy. It just doesn't work that way. Or not that I've seen. But let me see. Where is the live systems? Yeah, this was the drinker stream. Right about here. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry about that. How's everybody doing? Still with me? Pesk, would you go back? Do you think it's Joe over? It's Joe over. It's Joe over. I go ahead and call it right now. You know, we'll call the time on it right now. DOA. And it's not that I wouldn't go back. It's just that it'll never happen. Because once Gundam loses interest in something, it's done. You know, it's a wrap. That I've seen. You know, it takes a lot to hold his interest for a long time. Like stuff when we were doing like the G4 stuff. The reason why it took so long is because he was getting sidetracked with other things, and it was like a year after the fact that we needed to put the third video out. And you know, he does work a lot. He does work all the time. I understand that, but and this is from his mouth. The show was making more money than anything that he was doing at the time. That's what he told me. Okay, well, this is the part that I asked Drinker about his movie that he's making, because I was honestly interested on a YouTuber that is a established top best-selling author that's making a movie about a character he wrote and created from his own mind. You know, this is should be celebrated. And I really like the premise of his movie, and I like the character. So I just wanted to have and this is after he made fun of me for making the question like, where did you get the inspiration for the character? So this is a and I don't want anyone to think Drinker's great dude. This has nothing to do with him. This is just the way I, felt, because he really meant this when he was saying it.
Of camera equipment, production people, technical guys who were just sitting around doing nothing, because a lot of productions that are based in America actually shoot in Canada. And so all that apparatus was just not getting used. And so we were able to pick up, cameras that would get used on A-list movies that we could never have afforded. Like the cameras cost $250,000 each. And we were able to lease them for this film, like for peanuts, basically. And it was great. We were able to get a lot for the resources that we had.
So what was the budget? What are we looking at here?
Well,
200 million?
Yeah. We raised $300K.
Let me see if I can pull up
Kickstarter.
Let me see if I can pull up a Kickstarter.
Once Kickstarter takes their fees and you pay various taxes on it, and there's always a few people who don't pay up ultimately, like they back out at the last minute or whatever. I think we ended up with 270K, and that's what we did this whole thing on.
The chat is like
Which-
Gundam woke up. It's like, what do you want me to do? Jump in and start cutting off everything and go, here I am. Remember me?
Yeah. Sorry to be talking all this like boring financial
No,
stuff.
Pest does his usual thing where we bring on a guest and then he starts interviewing questions after we've already established we're not going to beat him over the head with these. Oh, your YouTube career seems like it began with Disney Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
Tell
now
us
your
more about
videos
that,
are
Drinker.
views. That's why I put the
found
kill on it.
Kickstarter. Yeah. So, he just it didn't. I was just asking about the film. Just want to know about the film. I didn't even know that Gundam didn't know that he wasn't an author. But he asked me to, put a bio up. And when you do a bio on someone, you do basically their Wikipedia and just whatever. And this is a small issue. This is just one of the things that kind of threw me off because it wasn't like we were doing a show together or I was backing him up on the show. It's that he wanted me to be the, for better lack of the term, and again, I apologize to her. He wanted me to be the X-ray girl of his show. I guess that meant read super chats and the such, but that also meant not be paid. And I don't know if X-ray girl is paid or not. I'm not saying that, but also not be paid because that's how he fucked me over. That's how he's going to fuck me over. He was like, I didn't think you wanted to stay on a show that would put you in the background so you couldn't talk, didn't pay you, and if it popped off that you would be mad, or if I left and did something else and it popped off that you would be mad. And this whole time I'm just like, one, I don't really care. For two, if this is not your idea of popped off, I don't know what the fuck your idea of fucking popped off is, because it ain't this. And all right. Let me look at the chat before I go to talking about the FNT thing and any other questions that people have. Oh, let's see. I can't read the super chats or anything. We don't have anything like that. It's not monetized, but I'll just give an applause for everyone that's kind of stuck in here with me. Yeah, FNT, their numbers are outrageous. They had 20,000 the other night when Gundam went on. He broke their record then. It was like 17. I did the math on how we would get closer to FNTs because at 7 we were halfway there. And that just meant that more people needed to know about the show. I thought that there were still a lot of people that were subscribers to Gundam's channel that didn't know anything about the live show. How many people can actually sit here and say that how'd you find out about the live show? You just happened upon it pretty much, probably. I would be amazed if somebody says in this chat, oh yeah, I heard Gundam talk about it. Because I don't think so. So, yeah, and the other thing is like FNT, and you're right, FNT's, and I've told Gundam all of these things before. Everything that y'all have said, I have said to him before, and it's like an unreasonable obsession. I say, look, man, FNT's been around since like pre-pandemic, and they blew up during the pandemic. And now they do great shows, and I think, they're in the 300s. They've been doing it for years, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Who knows? But they've gotten it down to where they have enough people knowing about their show. It's in the title that it's on Friday. It's a live show, and that means the most important thing is the time. VODs are different than live streaming, and Gundam was having trouble kind of doing both because he never understood how live streaming worked on YouTube unless I had to explain it to him. He would look at, if we got 70,000 views on a live stream video that was 4 hours long, he would say, well, this doesn't compare to my VOD numbers or my video numbers. When I put a video up, I get close to 200. It must be bad. This must be bad because the number's not the same. So yeah, we own Wednesday. And I kept saying that over and I was like, all we have to do is just own Wednesday because Drinkers Open Bar is on Thursday, which is today. And and Friday is, of course, FNT. And then to a lesser extent, on Tuesday, it's Lolcow Live whenever they're doing good stuff. There's other, and then Camelot does Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but he does it at night, and it's pretty much when we get off. And this is a small story about Camelot and how one of the things that I always didn't respect about Gundam. At the end of the streams, everyone knows that you can raid another streamer, right? You know, I can send the chat. As soon as we're over, I can send everyone to the streamer. Now, all that means is they just are sent to their live stream, not a video or anything. There has to be a live stream that is in progress. So they get to, they are redirected to this live stream. And I told Gundam, I said, hey, Gundam, we normally end right around the time that Camelot begins. Why don't we do the redirect to Camelot? Because 4,000, 5,000 viewers, that is a huge redirect. And I'm sure some of the people would, you know, they'd stay. And this is him verbatim. No, I'm not doing that. He has never helped me out. Why would I help out him? I didn't get any subscribers when he came on the show. I'm not helping out anyone because no one helped me. And this is just a redirect, y'all. It happens. It doesn't matter. It still happens at the end of the stream. You're always redirected to another video after the end of a video. This is just pointing you in the direction. And it doesn't even assume that those people will stay. This issue also came up with me and him a few weeks ago when I was saying, I think I want to start an after show because there's a lot of work that I have done through the week that doesn't get put on the show or might not be appropriate or it might be too cringe, and I can, you know, better explain it when I don't have him breathing down my neck, ADHD, like, come on, let's go, next. So I would be able to do it over there. And I told him, I said, yeah, just promise me that you'll give me the redirect, you know, after the show. And that was an issue. What if this is him talking. What if my fans don't like you? What if they don't want, you know, that'd look bad on me. That'd look bad on me if I sent them to you. And I'm sitting there like, I'm on the fucking show with you right now. I'm on a show with you right now in public. And you're saying I'm not good enough for you to send a raid to. Camelot's not good enough to send a raid to because he didn't get you extra subs when he came on. And I mean, if he wants to come out and say I'm a liar, because I'm not going to dig through the DMs about all this. If he wants to come out and say I'm a liar, he could try. I'll talk to anyone. If Anus wants to come on here right now, call me a liar, that she didn't try to extort me for money, that she wasn't the entire time that I'd known her, she wasn't angling for what I had built. And then as soon as I built it, somehow or another, convinced Gundam, you know, to do this. I don't know if it's him that convinced it, but it was damn sure him that wrote on there, yeah, I can make, what's her name? Anus, a producer, and that'll squash that beef. So squash that beef. He's just going to sell out. He's going to sell me out just to fucking squash the beef with an employee that ain't his girl. I don't think it's his girl. She's married. So, you know, that shit right there was like, it was always just like, that's so fucked up. And that was the other thing that pisses me off about, and goes to other people, crediting YouTubers or crediting other artists is very important in this job. Everyone lives and dies on a good recommendation, on a, someone wants to figure out who did this song, who did this art. You leave their name or some sort of link for them to get to, and it's a lot easier. And people make careers over links just being in the right place. I've seen this happen. I've done this. I know it's possible. I know how powerful these things can be. And when I try to, impart that on Gundam, it's always like, I'm too busy. I'm too busy to correct the spelling of this link. This link is wrong. I don't care. It's not that important. He would get mad at me. I remember one time him and Anus got mad at me because they made a thumbnail that had a misspelling on it. And they don't catch it. They didn't catch it. And I was like, hey, that's misspelled right there. And Anus, even to this day, like even like a couple weeks ago, she was still bitching to Gundam about having to change that thumbnail. About having to, she's an artist, y'all. She's an employed artist with this company. And she is bitching to him months later about having to add a letter in a fucking thumbnail. Who is running who? So I had asked him a few times because shout out Meerkat and Snortwave. He was in the credits of each one of the the live streams. And I also asked him in the very beginning, I think it was like the third stream. I said, hey, you misspelled producer in you think you could change it? And you misspelled jams and you misspelled Meerkat and misspelled a couple other things. And even to this day, months later, producer is still misspelled because he just doesn't care. But he did fix smooth jams with Meerkat. They did fix that. So, small wins. And that's more of a funny thing than something that I'm pissed off about. So don't anyone be like, Josh is being so fucking petty on links and shit like that, on crediting people. Well, I mean, it's a big deal to people that aren't, that big a YouTuber, and if they came on Gundam's stream, they ended up getting a big boost. Look at Kyle. After he came on the stream, I haven't caught up with it, but he was damn sure on his way to 100K. And I'm glad that we were able to get him in when we could. But even then, like even after then, I can tell you, I think of these nice stories, but even then it like reminds me of something else. I said to Gundam, that was a good show. Kyle did a good show. That was a very good show. I wish I could find more creators like him. And Gundam says, it was only good because I let him go on for as long as he did. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't know about Gundam is it's one of two things with him. It's either I did that better or I deserve that. Like that should have been mine. I would have had that. I deserve that. Why don't I have that? And I have always thought of that as like entitled behavior. A lot like that anus girl. Like it's total entitled behavior. Like just because you want to be a producer of a show, the one thing that you did was you made like a bot to read out super chats, but you didn't do any research on like, the actual layout, the actual competition of live streams today and what you would be jumping into. It's like when I made the show, I know exactly what I was going to be jumping into, who was on, who was hot and popping, who we needed to bring on, like a lot of these little things. But of course, to her, working at Drama Alert is like just fucking devil or something. Has nothing to do with content creation. But she was mad that she couldn't make the show because, whatever. Because she asked first and her idea wasn't good enough. So, what was the last thing? I wanted to bring up just how much Gundam hated quality content. And I don't know if he hated it like from the beginning or if there was a certain point that, you know, he says that the reason why he's quitting is because he's not having fun anymore. And I'm telling y'all, every time I was asked, what do you want on the show? The stuff that I would bring on, he would see beforehand. So he would say shit like, I've already seen this. And I was like, I know you've already seen this. The fucking audience hasn't, though. Can we just pretend that you haven't? And those little things, you know, they just keep adding up and adding up. And he was just like, I don't like this. I don't like that. That's stupid. That's stupid. I said, okay, dude, you can bring whatever you want. You are a content creator too. You make videos with this shit all the time. What are you bringing? And the one thing that he brought that, like I said, that one time was the J Sonic video. And that worked. And I told him that worked. It's like, if you want to do more shit like that, then that's fine. I said, the one thing that I think the show still needs to always keep is guests. I said, the guest segment brings in a lot of new eyes, and that's what we're trying to go for. But of course, when we might be to the outside, we are making great views and we're building a brand. But on the inside, he is not seeing growth as far as subscriber numbers. And the views thing was another thing until he understood what the fucking views thing meant after many months. But there was even the part this last month, and this was when I knew that the ship was really going down. This was my final royalty payment. Well, not final. This was last month's royalty payment. I'm gonna have this month's. I don't know. Gundam can keep it. I guess he's down that bad that he needs it. But this was the last payment that I got on my PayPal, and I just want y'all to see the notation, the money received for the show I hate. $800 for the show he hates, and this $800 meant that he had made about, so that would be like 3,200 in super chats. But of course, that's not including memberships. Let's just call it $5,000 for the show he hates. So, yeah, I guess this show that, you know, people have said that they like. I mean, I really appreciate everyone saying that they like the show. From the bottom of my heart, you know, I'm glad that y'all had a fun time. Those 23 episodes or whatever, they'll stand in time as like, you know, a time where the live streaming was good, I guess. I'm sure that he'll stream again. You know, he'll, like I said, the last thing that he talked about to me before he fucked me over was they were in talks with Kirsha about doing a show, but he said they were moving slowly and whatever. After Aina saying that he was getting back to streaming yesterday, it's like, I don't know, and I don't care anymore. It's not my problem. Yeah, Orange D. This is one of the things I even said. It made Wednesday feel like a Friday. Yes, because when people would get off of work, it was something that everyone can go to, and there'd be a lot of people. And I tried to highlight as many messages as I could, and highlight people that wanted to interact with the show more. Like Nikita, he was hired off the strength of just doing a good edit. You know, I wish we could have hired some fucking artists, but we had a girl boss artist that wasn't letting that fly. There was I look forward to it. He said when he fucked me over that he was like, I only stayed these last few because you were having it was important to you, or like you were having a good time. And it's like, the reason why I was having a good time because I take pride in my work. If I was like you and just dour all the time, so hey guys, let me just read out a couple of the chats here. Opponent's chaplain for 5. Man, oh look, he says he looks forward to stream. All right, well, back to the bit that I was trying to do. You know, you have to be entertaining. This is the entertainment business, and that's one of the things that I was afraid of doing because I've never been front and center being the entertaining person. I've written stuff comedy, written news and stuff to hear out of other people's mouths, but hearing out of my mouth has always kind of made me freaked out. So, but now that's a little bit over with, so I'm at least happy about that. Okay. We're actually doing, wow, there's a lot of people here. We got 320 on YouTube, and then some of them on Twitter as well. Who the fuck is Anus? Oh, you'll have to roll back the video for that one. But Anus, just a quick rundown, is Gundam's head designer, I guess you could call. She didn't design or make the VTuber model, just the pictures that y'all see on the videos. She makes a few of those, like one a month. It's not a lot. She didn't really do a lot of stuff. And now she mails stickers for $4 stickers. Like that's her thing. And even right now, with everything going on, Gundam is obviously in some sort of substance abuse issue. I didn't really like talking about it too much because he always said that it was, he could handle it and he's a grown man. But even today, like I had YouTubers call me and say how fucked up everything is, but they could see how bad it was getting with him, how flaky he was getting, and now everyone's at VidCon right now. That's the other thing. Is like we were supposed to be doing some VidCon stuff too, but now everyone has seen this blow up, and totally, y'all. I really didn't want to like blow up the spot on Gundam because you still should watch him and everything. Like I said, this is he fucked me over. He didn't fuck everyone else over, but I don't hate anyone in this situation. I think there's some people that might need some help. I don't know if they are 100%. They might need to take a step back just from everything and just see what's important to them. Because if you want to, you don't have to do a show with me. I'm not anyone special. I came up with a good idea, and I think that if and when he goes back to streaming, that it'll probably look kind of similar to what we've been doing, just because I don't know what other stuff you could do with a VTuber model like that. It's not the same as having a real person in space. The connection for a human is more than that than someone that's a VTuber, unless they're super VTuber anime. But even Gundam's not a VTuber. Technically, he's not a VTuber. Just use a VTuber model. But this is what I didn't want. This is what I didn't want. Jack, I didn't want that. I don't know how this sits with anyone else. I'm just telling y'all exactly what happened to me. I think Gundam likes to try to brush shit under the rug and kind of make sure, just like let it blow over. But that's total, like, excuse my language, that's total woman behavior. It's like if you're a man and you're out here, you're running a business, you face things head on. You confront things head on. People ask me, well, what should he have done? How should he have gotten out of this? I'm a bombastic guy. I'm passionate. I'm a good salesperson. I can always, if I'm defending my issue, defending my side, I'm going to do the best I can. But all he had to do was come to me, and it would have been best to have a voice chat rather than do this in text, but say, look, Josh, man, it's been a great show. We've made a lot of money. I want to shut it down because I don't have enough time to do both of the shows. Like, I'm trying to get on with Kirsha. I think I can do a show that'll beat FNT, and this is exactly what he's saying. But I'm saying he had to say it, in a way of not like just dismissing me. He's saying, I wish I had a show that rivaled FNT, and I think I can do that with Kirsha, but I don't want to disrespect you and say, knock you out of the box and not tell you up front. I really appreciate everything you've gotten me to this point. If it wasn't for you, I never would have known of Kirsha or been out here making X amount of money, because it's a good amount of money he's made. And I appreciate it, man. Let's do one more show. We'll send it off. We'll tell everyone. We'll look at it head on. We won't make just a community post and hide, kind of obfuscate the fact that, this thing that's been going on for 5-6 months is just over, but no one really knows. Just kind of let it blow over. Let it, don't make any waves. Josh, don't say anything. Just be quiet. Be quiet, Josh. Don't talk about our hypocrisies. Please. I have a brand to protect, Josh. Don't talk about my simp behavior and how I give things to women just because they ask. Or I look at my ex's Facebook to see how well or how not well she's doing and how that relates to my life. Even though she doesn't know that I'm a YouTuber, I still like to stalk her page a little bit to see who she's dating, to make sure that it's someone beneath my class. But she'll never know that because she doesn't know that I'm a YouTuber. So that's the fun of it. I've also got my other ex that I talk to, and this ex and that ex. It's like, Gundam's talked some more exes than than anyone I've ever met. Like, I don't even have that many exes that I remember. So you name it. Yeah, I remember one I used to name like 3 of them. He's like, this one is hot. Send me a picture of a girl that's really hot looking, but her head cut off because he didn't want to show what she looked like. So yeah, she's hot. She's in a little hot negligee. It's like, this is the people that this is the kind of girls that I'm fucking. So, oh, cool. He said, if people online knew this, they wouldn't accept me for being, kind of like someone, whatever persona he has. Like when he talks about, I was in gang wars and I was this, that, and the other. It's like, what gang wars were going on in like 2005 in New York? It's like, well, yeah. It was rough and tumble time in 2005 in New York, mid 2000s. What was I going to say? There was another issue that was talk about that was really hypocritical. I don't know. I guess I might as well start talking about the reason why he's so jealous about FNT. And I had to write this down because I had to make sure I had I had my thoughts in order, because this is stuff that he's told me. I haven't verified this because he's told me this. This is the conversations that him and I would have, daily about certain stuff. And he was always bitter and jealous that like Asmongold would make a stream and chop it up and get, millions of views on that. And that was kind of like how it spurred on that he wanted to start streaming. And then after that, he wanted to start going, big. He wanted to dream big and go do something like FNT. Friday Night Tights, for the person that asked that in chat. That is Nerdrotic's weekly stream show. It's a great show. It's on his channel. I don't know what time it goes on. Let me write this down. So yeah, that's what FNT is. That it gets like 14,000 concurrents. It's one of the biggest shows, live shows on YouTube. Nerd has been on Fox. He's blowing up, man. And I think it was a few years ago. Gundam was under the impression that they were looking for new people for the gig. And I don't know if they were or not, but they have a rotating cast, so I'm assuming they might. So he was hoping that he would be picked. This is him telling me. So I hope I got picked. I said, well, is it a paying job? Like, is it a paying job or is it just a gig, like a promotion gig? He said, like, I don't know. And I said, well, I would think that it's a promotion gig because, like, dividing up, like, divided by 10, it's like, that doesn't seem too worth it. So let's just say, yeah, Piers Morgan. Exactly. I wanted to get Gundam on Piers Morgan. I thought that would have been the fucking funniest thing ever. But of course, que sera. So he, I guess they're looking for someone for F&T around this time, and he goes on a couple times. This is probably 19, 20, somewhere around there, 21 maybe. But they end up, I think they end up, if I remember correctly, they ended up going with either Chrissy Marr or Shadversity. Whoever the most recent additions, that would be who he thinks was chosen over him. Now I don't know if they were even choosing people for that gig. Gundam was, to my knowledge, Gundam was always allowed to come on whenever he wanted. But he declined every event after that. Like even, Chrissy Marr's wedding, Star Wars Girl's wedding, and of course, not any of the stuff that they do, like for the fans, like big meetups for the fans and shit like that. None of that. So around this time, he finally decides, I want to start doing streaming, and I come to him with the plan and spend the next months, like from October to January, prepping this whole live stream, like everything that y'all saw. Like a lot of that was prepped in the very beginning. And he was under the impression that when we started, that he would get like 10,000 concurrents. But I kept trying to explain to him, I'm like, well, no one really knows that we're doing a live stream. So basically all they're seeing is just like, it pops up in their feed one day. There's no tweet to say like, there's a new Gundam live stream coming in a few weeks. Get hype. There's no video saying, hey, I'm doing a stream. I'm the first stream on YouTube. Get hype. All these things that streamers do nowadays just for promotion, just to get the word out so that we can have a good bit of people off the rip. So the first stream I think we did was like around 2,500 people. And he was disappointed. But I told him, I said, for the first stream, I was like, this is really good. From what I've seen, this is really good. And the super chats, he was totally confused on that for pretty much the entire time of streaming. He was like, well, do we have to worry about the super chats getting refunded, charged back? I said, no, they're a product. You buy them from Google. So, that's on Google. So no, we don't have to worry about that. It's like Streamlabs, I don't really know, but whatever. And and side note to that, one night, months later, he called me in a panic saying, I paid you too much. I paid you too much. I was like, and I just woke up. He's I paid you too much. I paid you too much. So what do you mean you paid me too much? It looks like you paid me the right amount. It's the same amount. He said, well, I've been paying you too much every month. I said, what are you talking about? He said, YouTube takes 30% of the super chats. And I didn't take that 30% out when I paid you. And I was like, are you fucking serious? He's like, yeah, when are they going to take that money out? When are they going to take the money out of the super chat? I was like, bro, they take that fucking money out before you even touch your side. And he was like, you sure? Are you sure? And I had no shit, chat. I had to write a fucking reverse equation to show him that if they didn't take the 30% out, the math would not be mathing. And I was like, chill, bro. You're good. You didn't pay me too much. You're not, YouTube's not coming like the tax man and this was like, y'all, this is like 4 months into it. So this is what was really freaking me out. I was like, do you think the YouTube tax man was just going to show up one day and be like, I'm going to need that 30%, dog. I hope you held on to it. You better call somebody. You need some money? Better call somebody. Call your producer. Better get that money back, bro. Where's the money, Lebowski? So, yeah, that was just funny. Like the whole time I'm trying to sit there explaining how these payment processors work, and like he's the big YouTuber. and oh, and y'all saw that I have this written down, but y'all saw this in the messages where I said like I designed the whole show because no one else would. It's like no one would work pretty much for like not for free, but for a percentage. Most guys that are doing producing or doing something that I do, they are either going to want money up front or they're going to want percentage on the back end. But if they want percentage on the back end, it's going to probably be bigger than the money up front. And I cut him a break for everything. So I was just like, look, I know this is your first time. I'm trying to help you out on everything. Let me just do a regular standard agent cut, which is 20% of super chats, and we not worry about the member or the AdSense because that fluctuates so much. It's like I don't want to confuse you again. I don't want to confuse Gundam because once he starts getting confused, it's not fun anymore and it's too much work and it's too much serious and he loses interest. So like this is all in concert to try to make sure everything is easy enough that he is not distracted from the main point. Because like I said before, it has taken many messages and many months of same messages to get him to do very small things. He says he forgets. I'm 50% on that. He probably forgets most of the time. I don't know why he forgets most of the time. But that's always been what he's told me whenever, something is he's late or like, I've slept too late or something. Just small stuff like that. Not really big. But after, we make the show, we're doing really good. It's like 4,000 to 7,000 and we're topping out at around 7,000 after that Kirsch stream. And around that time, Jack, I got that message from Cammy. I'll probably join a Camelot stream and talk about this with them. I don't know if I'll do it tonight because I still want to eat a little dinner. If they're still up late, I have no problem in going on anyone's stream and talking about this. Like, I'm not trying to spin a yarn. I'm not trying to drum up drama. I'm not trying to do sour grapes. People want to know what happened because Gundam's not talking and doing weird things like making that post yesterday and then deleting it. Like, fuck me. Like my consolation prize was only good for like a few hours, y'all. Y'all don't understand. After that, it's like Josh is on his own. Fuck you. Bye-bye. Thanks for everything you taught me. I think I might take that last message that he made and like make a a little like one of those little tweet pictures out of it. It's like thank you, and thanks for everything you taught me. It's like, wow, that's a good one. But yeah, that's that right around that time he was starting to get pretty disillusioned over the whole thing. And little cracks were starting to show. Here's a funny one. I just saw Pig Roach wins again. Here's one about Pig Roach kind of. I told him that this story I'm about to tell y'all, this was Pig Roach behavior, DSP behavior. Me and him were talking in the DMs, and this is after the first Kirsha stream. So I'm watching her stream, and he's watched the stream too. And he noticed that Douglas Kaplan has donated, I think like $300. It was like a big super chat. Now, this is the difference between him and I. In my mind, I'm like, wow, she's doing great. Like one of our viewers went and supported her, and wow, and seeing that in the, as that happened live, it's like, wow, the show is having an effect. We're really having an effect. And he's like, did you see Kirsha steal our biggest supporter? And I was like, she didn't steal. It's like, you saw he was over there donating, right? Kind of like implying like, well, he put that money over there, but it could have come to us. And I'm like, bro, you make so much money. I need that money. I really do. I need that money. He wasn't always like this. Some people, And this is, I've seen people with money. I've seen people that haven't had money and that get money and how it changes them. Um, I've seen people that had money lose all their money, and that definitely changes them. For me, I've always thought that the things that changed about me were minimal. There have been some things that changed about me, becoming independently wealthy, but I think I'm still kind of the same person. But anyways, that's just a side note. Yeah, that surprised me when he said that he actually noticed, and I think he noticed just because like I put Douglas's name. Well, shout out Douglas, by the way. He was the goat. I think he donated close to like 500, maybe even more. It was crazy. Like people Gundam has super fans, and that's why I don't want to. I hate that this happened to me, but it sucks that other people that supported him might have thought he was a certain kind of way, and then figuring out he's this way. It's always disappointing. But yeah, and so okay, he's really disillusioned at this point, and one of the last things that he talked to me about, and I'll just read it verbatim. I'm not gonna show the text, but um, this is just easier to do this. I told him, I said, so you're kicking me off the show and gonna do it with other people. Got it? Cool. That's what's up. And then he says, and then I say, I mean, you aren't stopping the show. You just want me out. He says, well, I can't afford you if it goes through, though. And even if it doesn't, I don't know if I'd make a year, and I had no idea how to tell you. I assumed you picked up on it after our call when you wanted to do your own show. And that's another thing, like woman behavior, like the assumption kind of thing. We saw that in the text with Anus. She assumed, and in her head, since she assumed she was going to get something, she felt entitled, and then when you don't get it, she felt slighted. Which that entire sequence is false. That's just something that she made up in her head. I didn't think you would. This is a big one. I didn't think you would want to produce a show and not get paid and be in the background for the foreseeable future if it popped off. But if I quit and later did something else, I didn't think that would sit well with you either. You are right to be upset. I don't know how to navigate this. I don't know how I'd do it without you as my backup. And then like an hour later, or like 10 minutes later, he does the thing that women do when they're like, go the opposite direction because I haven't said anything, I haven't responded. So they want to please, and they go the opposite direction. And he says, I'll figure out how to do both shows. Forget I pitched this idea to you. Okay, so I don't say anything. I'm still in shock. And then 5 hours later, he writes, I understand. I'll leave you alone. I'll let people know I won't be streaming for a while. Thank you for everything you taught me. So what he's saying there is he'll let people know that he won't be streaming for a while, but he won't, say that he fucked me over or fired me. Like he'll give it a little time to breathe. So it's like people aren't really asking that many questions. And I guess he just thought that I would continue to work at DB Productions for free, doing the video research or whatever, because that whole conversation was in the middle of us doing work on something else. So it was like if your boss had just told you you were not only getting fired, but like you own part of the company, like you were a partner in the company, and they just told you, yeah, we're getting rid of you because we need your money, and it's a really big hassle not having your money. So the easiest way for us to have your money is just to get rid of you. So heads up, I guess. So, and that's par for the course for a lot of YouTuber work. It's like a lot of YouTubers back in the day, it was working for promotion, and nowadays a lot of people are not doing that. They won't allow to that, but they won't work with a contract. People, especially some YouTubers, and like this would happen if you went to Gundam. If you went to Gundam and said, yeah, I would need you to sign this contract so I can do this work, he would just be like, well, I'm just going to go find someone else that doesn't need to sign a contract. because it's too much hassle. It's too much hassle. It's too much work. That's that's what he'll say. That's what he has said, and I'm not knocking him. He's a very busy guy, but he says he doesn't have time to do 2 shows. Well, okay. The average of quality content was about 3 hours. Okay, that's average, give or take. It was a little longer sometimes, a little shorter sometimes, but about 3 hours. So it was 3 hours once a week, 4 weeks in a year. 4 weeks in a month. That's 12 hours. For that 12 hours, I'm going to hand you $5,000 every month. I'm gonna hand you $5,000 if you can hang out with me on stream and laugh at some videos and stuff like that for 12 hours a month. I'm gonna give you $5,000. And the added bonus is, it's on your channel. So like we have growth or whatever, you'll get that too. But don't worry, the 5,000, not a problem. It's showing up like clockwork. In fact, it's getting bigger. So, 5,000 every, and this is after the YouTube cut. This is not before the YouTube cut. This is after all the cuts. This is take home, before tax, but take home. So let's run that through. $5,000 a month, 12 months, 60. Take home. So before take home, before you take out the YouTube cut, we're talking close to 100,000. Would you stream with me for $100,000 in a year? All you have to do is, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. I will bring most of the content, and all you have to do is sit there and watch it and react and make, have a good time. Just have a good time. You can bring stuff if you like. All the guests that we ever had, I said, you can bring videos as long as they don't violate TOS. You can bring videos. I'll play them. We'll do whatever. There's no restrictions. Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up. That's why I fucking took the deal. I didn't even know it was going to be like this kind of money. It's like, for me, I thought it would be like a few $100s and I could use it to pay a power bill or something. But I would be having fun and I would be networking and meeting new people, meeting new YouTubers that I didn't get to meet during my time at Drama Alert, meeting old YouTubers, even getting to see Keem and interviewing him. That was weird, but that was cool. I'm definitely not going to do it for free, but we were making, I was making close to 1,000 a month. He was making 5, and it was win-win across the board. I put my John Hancock on it too. Let's see. I thought it would take months to reach 2K, and y'all hit it the first day. Yep. First day. First day we hit that shit. And then it was just, from then on, it was just to the moon. It's such a disappointment and it's such a waste, because I know YouTubers that would have killed their mother for that show. would have strangled their loved ones for those kind of numbers out the gate. Of course they're not the best numbers, but like out the gate, if you're top 5, fuck. Even we were doing let me show y'all the Meta PCs, the final pitch deck. Let me make sure I still got it. But it was like we were winning. And even with the bullshit anus stuff with her dour fucking shit, we were still doing good numbers, everything. Damn it, where is that damn thing? That's what I don't understand. You didn't, and if you don't like the show because you didn't like the content or you didn't like streaming with me, like, that's fine, but at least give me enough respect as a man to come to me straight up, face to face, and say, hey dude, you've me and you've worked together now for 3 years plus. I'm going to shut this down because I've got this other gig that's going on, and I don't really, I don't want you on for whatever reason. And, that's it. It's like you could still, we could still work together. And actually, I would have worked if he would have done it that way. I probably would have stuck around and done the videos and just helped out, because like I said, $700 is not make or break for me a month. It's a nice bonus. I can pay the power bill, get the dog's medicine, and it takes care of those bills right there. And that's always nice to have a free bill. Even people that have lots of money and enjoy freebies. I don't think Gundam realized how popular he is as a stream guest. Of course, he was going to do well. Yeah, I mean, when he was on FNT that time where they had to take the VOD down, it's like that was their highest rated or highest viewed show up until when they hit that 20. And then here with all the Acolyte stuff, like we've just been content rich for the last few days or for last few weeks. And it was just never enough for him, He wanted something to rival FNT. This is what he told me. He told me, he wanted something to rival it. He thinks he can get there with Kirsha, but that also means that the producers got to work for free. And that girl, Anus, we've already seen that she'll definitely work for free just to be around Gundam. So, there's your free labor right there. And I don't know how well she'd be at making a show. She doesn't have a track record like that. So I can't say whether she'd be good or not. But here is the pitch deck, the one that this was the final production. And this was this picture right here of him in the bus. That's the one. That's the one that I had to have in there. And this picture right here, like these are pictures that she did, and that she said, I'm going to take these out because these are my art. And even though this is being made for Gundam and his benefit and for the benefit of the company, I want money. I'm going to extort you for money because she didn't get the producer gig. But here we go. First page, it's a Gundam. Da, da, da. Launched in January 2024. Quality content is an irrelevant, I never can say that word, live stream that covers recent internet and meme culture created by the YouTuber It's a Gundam. It airs at 5, runs about 3 hours. Each episode has a notable online creator. Slides are booked in advance. Some of the stats that we did. This was a little bit before we had the new stats, but consistently top 25, consistently top 25. These are some of his stats, lifetimes, other stuff, the brands that he's worked for, a basic pitch deck. And she thought this was total ass, total shit, and she didn't want her art being associated with it. Then here's, our competitors. Geeks and Gamers, Side Scrollers, the Whatever Podcast. I think the Whatever Podcast was kind of like the closest analog to us in stats. Geeks and Gamers is the same in super chats, but not the same in video views. The show would consistently hit over them. But this was the other thing when I would talk about these stats, because I took Stat Pro, Satility and probability in school, and I've done that all my life. I gamble, I do financing, I do trading. Numbers are the only true thing in the world. So when I look at numbers, I know I'm looking at the truth. And when I would sit there and show him certain analytics and trends, after a while he was just like, he got mad. He said, I don't want to hear about fucking Geeks and Gamers. I don't want to fucking hear about whatever. I don't want to hear about how much money we're making. I don't want to hear about how many views we're doing. All he wanted to know is are we gaining subs, and is he making a dent going towards that total goal of being bigger than FNT? And, you know, this was an unattainable goal for us at this point because we don't have the promotion. We don't have really like the guest roster to do that, but we're doing great. We're like halfway there. So a little bit more time, it would have done something. And to tell you the truth, if he would have come to me and he said, look, dude, I want to keep quality content going as a brand, but I don't think you're right on the show anymore. How about we give you 10% in perpetuity? You don't have to do anything. And we just take your show. And that's how you buy a show from someone. You know, you don't go, heads up, we're fucking you over because we think we can do better with this one because we're just trying to get an arbitrary number. We're trying to get to an arbitrary number. What that number means, I don't know, but I need to beat them. I need to have 1 point over them for some odd reason. You know, it doesn't matter that they make exactly the same money that we make in the exact same time. Looking at the views when they sit there and they have 15,000 concurrent viewers and their VODs are like 250, 300, and he looks at a VOD and it's at 100. For some reason, that's failure to him. I don't know what else to put it. It's failure. It doesn't pass. So I don't know how much. I don't know what else to do besides what I've done. I've pretty much come to the end of the line, irrespective of the matter that he just wanted to get rid of me anyway. It's like I didn't know what else I could do. I mean, the man can bring whatever he wants. For you to say, I don't like this show, I'm not having fun, but it's your show and you can bring on whatever you want, whoever you want, you know, doesn't matter. But yeah, envy is a sin, deadly sin. Envy, jealousy. I like to see people succeed. I don't view I don't view these people as competition, quote unquote. I view them as people that are in our space that, because I'm not taking away from them. I'm not taking away their views or their super chats or their money. I'm not taking away. We exist in this space together, and there's overlap. And to compare yourself to others, you got to kind of do it apples to apples and or apples to bruise apples. You can't really get one to one. And I like seeing geeks and gamers catch an exclusive and go hard on it. You know, I like seeing side scrollers debut new talent. And I love their stuff when they did it with DSP. The Whatever podcast, it's kind of fucked up. Used to be better earlier. Pippa, that was another one that I wanted to get on the show. Probably would never happen though, because of Gundam and just the fact that we've had on Camelot and other stuff as well. But there is so many YouTubers, content creators out there besides the big cats, the ones that are 500 plus. And I think that if I'm going to continue streaming, that I want to interview those guys. I want to interview the guys that are doing this as a side job, that's still working and working hard on their channel and looking for that big break. Those are the guys that are looking for a little exposure. And I like talking to them because they're hungry. They know that they want something. They don't know what they want, but they know they want something. And I like talking to those kind of people. And then people that are established in this space that have knowledge that they can give to other people. I'm all about spreading some knowledge, you know. But I think that's about it. I think one of the last things I was going to talk about, it was just like him having jealousy towards F&T and towards people like the Quartering and Drinker for having better views or bigger platform than him. It would bug me a lot because, you know, you got to put in the work. But on the same coin, he did put in work. He put in a lot of work. It's just I don't think that the work he put in, what he got out of it is what he wanted. Like he always wanted more. And wanted it quick, and this would show in the content as well. Um, and other stuff that was just like, kind of petty stuff. I know one of the last times that he was supposed to go on FNT, he told me earlier in the day, I think it was last week, he told me earlier in the day, he said, FNT is they asked me to come on. I said, oh, that's cool. You had just gone on Drinker Stream like the day before. You go on this one, that's really great. And he said, yeah. And then I go to check in on the show a little bit later on. He's not on the show. I don't really pay any mind because I'm like, well, maybe he'll just show up later. And I get a hold of him later on the night, and I was like, did you go on the show? He said, no, I didn't go on the show. I said, what do you mean you didn't go on the show? He said, yeah, they never called me to go on the show. I said, what do you mean they didn't call you? You know what time the show is? Like, you just show up. He's like, no, they didn't do nothing. And then like a couple hours later, he's like, oh, yeah, they did send a message. I didn't see it though. And I was just like, you base this whole streaming shit against them for everything. And you don't even know that you can just show up. You can just show up. It's not like you're in the chat trying to wave your hand being like, hey, put me on the stream. You're Gundam. It's a Gundam. You show up on the chat, they're going to put you on the show. It doesn't matter. You don't need a message. And I think that's just like a good excuse sometimes when he really just doesn't want to deal, because he didn't like live streams. He hated live streams. Hated going on them, hated doing them. It was too early for him. It was like 5 in the afternoon. It was too early for him. So I just don't really understand, And then when he was on Drinker Stream, he said Star Wars Theory was on Drinker Stream, but as soon as I got on, he left because he didn't want to deal with me. I was like, y'all got beef? I was like, this is the first time I had heard. You got beef with Star Wars Theory? What happened? With Star Wars Theory, that guy's, it doesn't seem like he had beef with anybody. What happened? Oh, nothing happened. But I mean, you got beat. Why did he leave? It's just like you came on. You're saying you came on the stream. As soon as you saw it, you said, oh, fuck it. Gundam? It's a gun. I'm out. Star Wars Theory, he ran. Gundam say he ran. As soon as I came on, he was gone. I was like, damn, beef Star Wars. That's some beef. Because I don't know if Star Wars is just to run away. He's pretty much, he'll talk. But he ran away. That's what Gundam said. He ran away. I don't know if that happened or not. Or maybe he was just leaving because that was his time to leave. But that's what Gundam thought was going on. I was like, why would that be your first thought? Why does everyone have to be put down for you to be put up, to go over? It's like, I don't like that. I don't like that from people. Especially after all the help he's had. I just thought he would be a more humble person. But this is just straight ego, bro. Straight fucking ego. Many times. But let me get to the chat, and then I'll probably close this out. I think that's about all I had to talk. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, hit the motherfucking like button. Smash that bitch. So I have a little bit of traction. The people that have DM'd me, thank you. If I haven't messaged you back, I will. I'm going to make it a point to message every person that took the time to message me. I really appreciate everyone coming out just to listen to me rant a little bit more. And I had to shit on that anus chick about, like, that's a lie. It's like, bitch, please. You've been crying about that the producer position for literal months. You cried. You tried first to do it, extort me. And then when you couldn't extort me for money, then you went and cried to Gundam. And to the point where he was just like, yeah, just treat her with kid gloves. Just kind of stay away from her. He's afraid of her. He's afraid of her. He's afraid of women, period. But this one in particular, because I guess she's holding the art over his head. That's the leash that's the only leash I see that she would have in this situation, because She obviously not a wealthy person. Wealthy people don't sell stickers through the mail for $5, and they just don't. And candles for 25. Wealthy people don't do that. Wealthy people pay people to do that. But she made a new. I heard when I was looking for the little tweet about her call me a liar. It's like she made a new program to automate some of the store stuff, so she can get them stickers out faster now, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. They'll be there soon. Thank y'all for coming out for all the quality content, for real. I like I said, I didn't think that many people would come. I knew some people would come just because he was such a he's such a big star. But week after week, it growing and more people showing up and like using the name in speak, like that was amazing to me. That's something that I came up with. People are like, quality content. This is quality content. That's an actual verb. That was awesome. So, and I hope that the actual show that I can maybe make for myself, while I don't think I'll have as big a names as we had on quality content, I do know a few names, and I'm sure there are a few guys that still might not be afraid enough, might have the balls to come on stream with Pescator. Thank you, David Martinez. Thank you, Electrobuzz. Thank you, Mission Monster. Thank you. I hope I pronounced that right. Painting Fiesta franchise. Will Gundam fix things with me? That's something you gotta ask Gundam. I'm the one that fucked over. I'm the one that he fucked over. He did it to me. I'm not expecting him to to come back and be like, all is forgiven. Let's start it up again. Let's crank her up again. Let's get the band back together. It's like, no, the band's not coming back together. Band ain't coming back together. And also the band ain't coming back together. I wish I could have put out Blood for Sun for y'all underneath something. That's a great song. It's like, I have a copy of it, but I can't give it out now because that would be like, he might hit me for copyright distribution or something. But yeah, I might clip it out of one of the shows, and that'll be fair use or something. And then everyone can play that. But hopefully this will be the last time that I talk about this situation, unless I go on someone else's stream and they ask me about it. I'm willing to do that, so I'm not hiding. I'll talk to anyone, and if anyone calls me a liar about something, then just holler at me, and I'll deal with it. Snort wave it out. What do y'all want to hear tonight? Do y'all want to hear snort wave, or do y'all want to hear Kung Fu Dick? I'm not even going to tell you what that is, but it's either we'll do a snort wave or Kung Fu Dick. Would I consider a reconciliation? Yeah, he'd have to sit down with me and talk. We have to talk it out like men. I'm not mad where I'm like, fuck this dude. I hope he eats glass and shits fucking fire. I'm not like that. Show's over. It's dead. It's fucking, I'm not going to cry over $700 a week. But it did suck that after all the time I spent around him and, us doing so much projects together, that he just, that's the way he did me. I mean, it had to be sincere. But at this point, I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, Gundam won't fix it. No, Kung Fu Dick. Yeah, it does have a trilogy. But we're going to start tonight with the original Kung Fu Dick. And for those that don't know, you will soon know the power of the Kung Fu Dick. I really appreciate everyone coming out tonight. And if y'all want, I'll have a stream tomorrow night, and I'll do stream shit. Like I've been wanting to talk about the Dr. Disrespect stuff, and this, this is the priority. But I do want to talk about the Dr. Disrespect stuff because I covered that back at Drama Alert back in the day, so I remember a lot of it. And if everyone wants to hear that, then y'all stop by tomorrow. I'll try to start doing streams like around 4:00. I think that's a great streaming time, 4:00 Central. I appreciate it. If you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter is at Josh Pescator. By the way, I had to Gundam took me off the StreamYard, so I had to set everything back up on my side. But I knew he was gonna do that. Josh Pescator on Twitter, just like that, at Josh Pescator. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. If you want to DM me, if you're an artist or if you do content creation and you want to talk about doing some work together or just networking in general, I'm always down. Oh my gosh. But I guess that is it, y'all. Let's close it out with a little Kung Fu Dick. Y'all have a great night. And again, don't be too hard on Gundam. Don't he fucked up on me. He didn't fuck up on y'all. But good night, y'all.
Nobody knows I got that kung fu. Split a bitch in half with the corner of my shoe. I got that chop, uppercuts to the butts. I'm impossible to stop. I throw those kicks, but my secret weapon is my kung fu dick. I got that kung fu dick, kung fu dick. I'll be swinging that shit. Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Flip kick with this dick. Give it up like a bitch with my kung fu dick. Oh yeah, yeah. I slap that shit like I'm E. Honda. My fighting stance is an anaconda. I rain the pain with the main train. To maim and shame like I'm Luke Kane. You think you're tough, but you ain't got shit now.